Hey, thanks for joining the channel. In today's episode, we're talking about the Lem Big Bite and food safety associated to keeping it clean and keeping your venison good for your family. Stay with us. Hi, this is Tim and Joel. Welcome to Midwest Hunting and Outdoors by Two Dumbasses,
a podcast about the outdoors, hunting,
and being a steward of the land. Midwest Hunting and Outdoors by Two Dumbasses. Tim, today we're talking about, we did an episode on the Lem grinder. We'll put that link up here so people can look at that. But today it's a little bit of a 90-degree angle or shift on that in terms of you've kind of found some potential contamination, let's call it, or potential food safety issues.
Yep.
And that's really what we're going to get out there and talk about today.
Yeah, and probably it's worth talking about is Joel and I in our background, we have food manufacturing background, probably between us close to 60 years of food manufacturing. So food safety is one of those things that we're always in tuned with, and so we're always looking for. And my family's always talking to me. They call me food safety dad. So. Because I'm so concerned about it.
Among other things.
So with that, this year, as I mentioned earlier in another episode, I was fortunate to harvest a moose. And so we were pulling this out because I pulled the grinder out, my Lem's number 12 Big Bite, and I was going to do some grinding. And even though I had it all clean, it's been sitting for a while, so just from a microbiological growth, I like to wash everything again before I start to use it. Well, anyway, I started to wash this, and this throat mechanism that you have to where you feed the food is probably my most challenging piece to clean. Anyway, as I was sitting in trying to clean it, I noticed, and it's got a little bushing, a little plastic bushing. And by the way, on Lem's site, it's about $6. And anyway, this bushing was in there, and I was looking in, the light hit it just right. And there was food debris that was stuck between the bushing and this. And you know what? I've never taken this bushing out. And I never knew that it even came out, to be honest with you. And so... Anyway, the first time trying to get it out, it was pretty tough, and I used to be honest with you, I used a knife steel because it had a flat end, and I was able to slowly, work around and get it pushed out. I can now get it out pretty easy, and I've also bought another bushing as a spare because this thing won't work without that. But anyway, this is a place, it's called a dead spot. So as you see this throat and the food comes in, the meat comes in here and then comes out. Back here is a dead zone. So this dead zone, stuff gets caught in here. And this is typically in a food manufacturing environment. If you see a dead zone somewhere, that's usually the culprit, or is a common, I shouldn't say usually, but it's a common area that you look to. And usually these are, maybe not on this grinder, but in equipment, those are poorly designed apparatuses. And so you have to basically adjust your cleaning to accommodate that. And so I wanted to make sure that, as from a listener's perspective, since we're dealing with meat, you don't get sick. So key thing here, I thought this was worth a quick 5-10 minute video. Got to take this bushing out, and this bushing only goes in one way. The flange end, this thickness, this lip, actually goes to the inside. And once you get it in, to try to get it to go back in, I usually put a knife in here, like a butter knife, and then I'll put it back in, and then I'm able to, push it back in to get it all centered in with the hole. But pretty critical. In fact, Joel and I, when we were getting ready and setting up for this video, we found just a little bit of food particle right here on this, on the side of this throat. So we'll show you that in the video as well.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is, I know you're super happy with the grinder, but I would guess most of the grinders are set up very similar, if not identical. You've got a motor, the auger goes into it. You've got to have some type of bushing. Could be, I'm hoping that it's food safe Teflon. I'm guessing that's what they'd have to have.
Yep.
And that's the area that you're talking about that you found the issue. And my guess would be is on every grinder out there that it's a potential hazard.
Yep. Look for these dead zones. Again, you know, in this dead zones to where, hey, the meat's going to be moving all the time through here, but something will just sit here in the back. And those are going to be the areas where you want to make sure you adjust your cleaning practices. So we were talking about dead zones with regards to this throat, you know, back here. So there's also one other designed areas, and I don't know how they could redesign this, but on this auger, the meat's coming right in through here, but right through here, right with these, I'm going to call these flights on this auger, right here is another dead spot, which is also hard to clean. And you got to make sure you get that clean in between uses, because again, that's where those microbiological growths will come from. So I just wanted to point these out, and hopefully this was helpful.
Awesome. Tim, what do you use for, you know, obviously hot water and soap? Is there anything else that you use to clean this equipment with?
Nope. I've got a little brush that I'll put in here on both ends. This Big Bite actually has I know I'm going to mispronounce this, but an ionized coating. So stick resistant. And so it works pretty good, but you definitely want to wash it right away after use. Otherwise, it would be tough.
Yeah. It's kind of like a European mount. You want to skin the deer head as soon as you can.
Yes.
Probably not related, but similar concept. Cool. Anything else?
Nope. Just food safety. It's all about, it's not necessarily always what you can see. We're talking about microbiological growth. Make sure you use a good soap. I use Dawn. It's a degreaser. And make sure you get this as clean as you can, and you won't have any problems.
I mean, with that bushing in, you could soak that for weeks on end, and it's not going to clean it out. You're going to have to remove it to get to it and
100%,
get it clean.
yep.
And again, we're under the perception that pretty much every grinder out there is going to have a similar setup as this.
I would agree. Yep.
Yeah, cool. Well, folks, be careful out there, and thanks for watching. Until next time, be safe, have fun, and get outdoors.